forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high.
Welcome brothers, welcome sisters, back to our program On Target. As soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. We take calls, and we also will read some of your posts on Facebook. We never have a subject matter. We speak on anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, any trending issue, any topical issue of the day. And most of all, you can interrupt us at any time and bring in any matter. We believe it's a good opportunity for us to develop conversation, to exchange ideas, to settle disputes by discussion. We have to hold this discussion in our own homes, with our own children. Families are not working together. The community is not working together, as if we expect magic. We have a lot good going for us in Grenada. You see, Grenada in a better position than most Caribbean islands. Why do I say that? Grenada have the most land owners in the region. When you have land, that's capital. You can't build anything in the sky. Most of the people who have lands in Grenada, the land is big enough to have their homes, and they can run a little kitchen garden, backyard gardening. Most of Grenadians have a little quarter of an acre or more land. You don't have that in New York City. You don't have that in Frankfurt and other countries in the world. People live in cubicles, in apartments. This is a plus. We must make use of our land. We go to school and we learn about economics and commerce and POB. We must practicalize that. How much money you could make from the land every year? If you're making $10,000, that is not enough. Could you make $30,000 or $40,000 from the hold in your heart? This is what some of our new politicians on the ground, they should be coming up with ideas. Don't expect the government to employ everybody in Grenada. No government could do it. No government could do it. Government is already the biggest employer in Grenada, the best employer, and the employer that perhaps have the lowest productivity. This is not sustainable. So the thinking, the ideas, the discussion have to be on families with the land that they have becoming more sustainable. How do we use the crops that we grow in the land? You live in the country, you have land, you're buying seasoning. If you're spending $10 a week on seasoning, well, how much that is a month? How much that is a year? Calculate how much money you will spend in 10 years. You say one cocoa full the basket. Never put your eggs in one basket. We hear that, but we're not practicalizing that. People going to school and they're getting an education to get a job. And they don't want a job with themselves. Government spend thousands of dollars on individual. They go to university. They get a master's degree and they come back looking for a job. Everybody in Grenada looking for a job. Why not make a job for yourself? John Compton in 1983 or 84 somewhere, he said the University of the West Indies has not done justice to agriculture. He said we worse off than the days of Pharaoh. Because in the days of Pharaoh, we had the bullocks and the cart. He said today we're fighting with the hoe and the spade. That is true. We say the University of the West Indies, but what happened to National College? What happened to our secondary schools? You have children leave school looking for a job. This little sister have a job paying her $800 a month. $800 a month. Well, that is small money. She go to get a job in St. George's that paying her $950. The job she have in Ticolo paying her $800 a month. She living 2 minutes away from the workplace. She children, she don't have to have babysitter for her children. But she don't satisfy with her job. So she gone to St. George's to get a job that pays her $950. Well, when you come out in secondary school and you function in that way, that means the certificate you have, you don't know how to practicalize it. What's about the transportation? The fact that you have to pay a babysitter. What happened to that? You know, we have to do some serious thinking in Grenada. And our politicians is not helping us. They're making statements. We must raise pay. Well, there must be factors that would determine increasing pay. So people working for $800 a month, they say they're not getting enough money. So they're going in St. George's to work for $950. Does that make sense? I'm sorry for some of our little sisters or women. Sometimes I watch them, they look as athletes. They have 2 children, they're living in Ticolo. They put the children in babysitters. Well, you know, informally by the cousin or the nene or the mother. But they must give them something. And they have to take that bus 6 o'clock in the morning to go to town to work for 8. And come back again. And they have all sorts of conflicts because they don't have time to take care of the man. They don't have time to cook for the man. So the man gone in the shop and eating. But sometimes somebody else had to cook for him. You go to work from $800 to $950. We have to ask questions. And some of the politicians that making these broad statements that misleading our people, you ain't getting enough money. So people are making noise in the workplace without comparing the income in the workplace. If you're a cleaner, if you're a groundsman, if you're a supermarket person, no matter what job you have, make comparison with your salary. Compare it to the areas that are likely to pay more, like the St. George's University. So somebody leave farming for $50 a day in the country, or $45, and they go to work to St. George's for $1,200 a month. Something have to wrong with our education system. You know, I constantly say these things because you've seen it so common in our community. When you sit down and speak to people and do a little calculation, they realize that they are disadvantaged. And some of them pick up their working to rule where they are. So they see the employer as the enemy. He dealing, he wicked, he mean. People who employ, you know, because he not paying me enough. And I encourage people to ask them how much more pay they want. And they must able to draw comparisons. I heard some people talk about the salary in Grenada in relationship to other countries in the Caribbean. But they're not speaking about the tax threshold. You could get more and pay more, you know. What is the tax threshold in Grenada in relationship to St. Vincent and Barbados and Dominica? What is the social safety net? The social safety net package in Grenada in relationship to other countries? Because you're the owner of land, and few people, particularly in rural Grenada, rent. And even if they rent, they have access to land, not like New York City. They can supplement the income by growing things. You know, come on. Somebody got to tell us something. And you could give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. I know people prefer to talk about the politics because the politics hurt. But I believe we could change things in this country. And we have to sit down and examine what is going on. And maybe we could ask questions. We have a caller on the line. Caller, punch.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, good topic, right? But that's something I was looking for you to make a comment because what happened, we have no eggs in the south. We give away all the eggs last weekend. 360 something trays of eggs was given out, so we don't have no eggs. You can't get in the supermarket nowhere. So I don't know if you could help us, please.
Well, we have a number of farmers that have eggs. Grenada is not short on eggs. So
I'm talking about the south.
Well, if they give away the eggs in the south, it's a good thing to come to St. David's or call some of the egg producers in the country because some of them have eggs. For instance, I have no problem to get eggs. You know? And if they give away the eggs, that many people in the south not buying eggs in the supermarket because they get. So you could get eggs from other parts of the country. You see, one of the challenges we have in Grenada is a lot of cry baby farmers. The farmers are complaining without justification. Farmers, when last year farmers advertised eggs? When last year farmers encouraged people to eat eggs? We importing cake. Every week, Grenada import cakes. The cake come with the boat.
From where?
From our neighboring country. Bread and cake are imported in Grenada.
For the supermarkets?
For the supermarkets. For the rum shop and all buying bread and cake from Trinidad. Nothing is wrong with that because Trinidad is a Caribbean neighbor. But why is it the Poultry Association don't advertise the consumption of eggs? Encourage people to consume more eggs. You see, we have to solve the problems. We're constantly looking for people to solve the problem. And we want the government to solve the problem. The government provide 100% concession for farmers to purchase agriculture tools, equipment, and vehicle. 100% concession. The government provide labor assistance. The government provide extension service. The government provide office space for the Poultry Association. They don't have to pay rent. They don't have to pay for the telephone. And at some time, the government used to pay their staff. The Beekeepers Association too. What we have is complaining farmers. Some farmers have a nice house. They have an expensive vehicle. And if you hear them cry, hold it. So people don't respect them. Even the children in the house believe they're not making money. Just be a little bit more observant. You have a number of farmers' children looking for a job. They're gone in St. George's working for $1,200-$1,400 a month. And the parents paying $50-$60 a day to work on the farm. And they wouldn't even help the parents market the products from the land because they believe farming is not making money. Well, who teaching agriculture in school? Something have to wrong with the teachers of agriculture, the teachers of commerce, POB, and economics. Something have to wrong with the brain. That is why John Compton called out. And he said the University of the West Indies is not helping us, irrespective of the fact that we invest immensely in training people away. When they come back, they speak in English more than the Queen, and they don't want to produce in the land. So our chemists, and not extracting nothing from a leaf. Our agronomists cannot improve the shelf life of nothing. They sit down complaining. We have to believe that we have the answers. And we have to brainstorm. We have to think tank and come up with answers. I always ask people, what is the solution? Everybody have a briefcase, a certificate, and they're walking around with a bag of problem. Our managers have to be solution seekers. And then things will become much easier. In the farming community, one of the greatest challenges we have in the farming community is marketing. Anything that is selling, people is going to grow it. So soursop have a good price on the market. We cannot supply the market, and we don't have transportation to get to the market. So that's a challenge. And we are not producing enough soursop so we could hire transport to bring it to the American market. That's a serious challenge. Grenada is the only country in the region that can export fresh soursop to the US market. And I think they're getting about $3.50 a pound. And people come in and harvest it on the tree. So your cost of production is minimal. Now, why don't we increase our production so we will have enough soursop so we could hire a plane to bring it go? Now, we have a window of opening. Because anytime Mexico get on that market, that's the end for Grenada. But maybe it might take 5-10 years because the American farmers are the ones objecting against Mexico. Yes, Scholar Punch.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Well, what do you think about the politician that closed down his fall farm and gone to run election?
A politician closed down his fall farm
and gone to run election.
Well, maybe he must think there are more prospects in running election than doing the farming. One of the challenges we have with our intellectuals, they're not very practical. They could write good thesis. They could speak good grammar. They could peruse the radio station correcting people English. But they're not very productive. They like to work with people.
Yeah,
that's one of the challenges we have.
The country ain't had nothing, but he closed down his fall farm and he decided to run for election.
But sometimes it's not that he closed down, sometimes he cannot manage. He bad manage the farm. More often than not.
If he can manage the farm, how come he go manage Grenada?
Well, he could. Well, a lot of people try to manage the country and they don't succeed, ain't it? There's only 2 political leaders in Grenada, and we must not forget that lasts more than 1 term. After 2 years in politics, the average person watch you and see you as a joker, and they dump you after 2.5 years. It just happened they have to wait for 4 years. But if you go back and check our political history, very few politicians is able to win more than 1 term.
I agree.
So
that was my concern.
Yes, my brother. Thank you. Yes, you see, our people have to learn to listen to some of the authorities in the Caribbean. I've always quoted John Compton. I like to quote Forbes Bonham. Forbes Bonham said, grow what you eat and eat what you grow. Forbes Bonham decided to ban the products because the American media is so powerful. While Grenadians jumping up and say they can sell the products, don't bother with them. It's macaroni they want. Do we have a call on the line? Call a punch.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, and the topic you want right about now, I believe there could have never been a better one at this time, as you speak, when it comes to agriculture. And, the people are supposed to be really, as a while ago, and rightfully say that, so to teaching the people the right aspect about agriculture and how to go about handling themselves if they want to be really productive and successful farmers, they are teaching them something different, giving them the concept that government is responsible for them being successful in the farming. Like everything they have to do in the land, it should be coming from government. And government have to do this and government have to do that. And it continues that way. And if this thing was genuine, I don't have a problem, but them guys is just all because of politics. And while ago you said government gives so much, when I really check back, I didn't realize so much was given on the behalf of government to farmers in this country. And yet for all the way that they say government does nothing for farming. So it sounds like it's everything that should be done in the farm and to the success have to come from government. And at the end of the day, they get the money in their pocket, they do what they want. And to start over again, they hear they cry government again. It's so unfortunate that they don't even want to tell us how important tourism is to agriculture. They try to hide it to create political mileage, which is very unfortunate. If a hotel should be built in any part of this country, every farmer should feel happy, because I believe we know somebody, if not all, but some of us will get something to sell to that hotel whenever it comes to materialize. And every time a hotel built anywhere around the country is benefit to the farmers. But they tell us the government presently now, like too much of tourism, they don't study agriculture.
If you notice, scholar, most of the people that speak in this thing, they are not farmers. Most of the people here is saying that they are not farmers. Because we had a good example during the lockdown. St. George's University grind to a halt, tourism was down to a trickle, and the farmers can sell the product.
But Mr. Pierre, just say that tourism is a very fragile industry. But tell me which of the industry that not fragile? We had a pandemic, tourism went down. It just take us a hurricane and agriculture will go down the same way now. So all of those things have a risk. Don't want to tell me you went back too much on tourism and look at now we have a pandemic and the tourism gone down. You went back on agriculture the same way, look at we have a hurricane in 2004, Hurricane Ivan, 2000 somewhere around there. And here it goes, agriculture was on the back. Right on its back. So these things, all those things have the risk. So you just can't sit back and say I would not invest in tourism because if a pandemic comes, it means nothing to us. I have a friend that tells me he was selling more than... But anyway, the hotel he deals with used more than 400 eggs per day, per meal. And he was the one producing eggs for this hotel. And when the pandemic comes around, he had us to go to a lot. Every day he couldn't sell no egg for quite a number of months. And then he was of himself that realized how important the hotel is to this, the tourism industry is important to the agriculture sector. He come to realize it by his own self. And I said, boy, we just wait too long to learn something that we should really know long before it happens. Have a good day, boss.
Yes, and I'm going to read this text from Facebook. Maria Alexa something. Mr. Pierre, how am I not hearing the opposition speaking about weed again? I think everybody in Grenada stop talking about weed now. You see, we could always grandstand. We had a lawyer that jumping up weed. From the time the government lodged in Parliament for the first reading, the bill to legalize, decriminalize, or provide more tolerance for marijuana production, it gets quiet as a lamb. Because his intention in jumping up about weed, perhaps, was to attract clientele. So every time the police pick up some rasta or somebody involved in weed marketing, automatically they call him. And he was making good money. But now he believes if this thing is legalized, he will make much money again. And this is the story in Grenada. And we have a lot of individuals who in position to speak because they are university graduates. They study chemistry. They have their PhD. They have their master's degree. They like to walk around. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
How are you, man?
Great, man.
Right. Now, you there?
Yeah, go right ahead, man.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things that I think we must do, we must engage each other more, right? We must, as a people then, right? We like to, just criticize and condemn and be divided and separated and segregated and all this kind of thing. What we must do as a people, we must engage each other in discussion, right? There must be more dialogue between the police and the public, right? Bring people together. It's a passing laws and legislation. Yes, there must be laws, there must be legislation. But the thing about it, Mr. Pierre, right? Tell me something. How people should behave when there is no law, or where there is no law?
The biggest law in the world is love. You know?
Yeah?
The biggest law in the world is love.
Well, exactly. Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make here is Mr. Pierre, could there be a law for everything?
No. That's why I said the love.
Good. So the thing about it is how people should behave, how people should conduct themselves when and where there is no law. Tell me.
Well, we have discipline, the homes.
Huh?
People go to school, and there must be discipline. You go to work, the work have rules. You have to learn to obey the rules.
Yes, but there cannot be a law for everything.
No, you can't have laws. So you have convention, tradition.
How then should we behave? How then should
we have to behave in a community. Otherwise, they throw some people in prison and some in the madhouse.
Okay.
If you're not conforming to the norms of society.
Okay, so in that, okay, the police is now arming themselves with drones, with fertilizer, with whatever.
The police in Grenada have drones?
Well, I should think so.
Well, I think it's necessary. The police have to. We live in a very dynamic society, buoyant with technology, and the police cannot be left behind.
Yes, but I'm not saying no, but the emphasis, but a lot of emphasis should be placed on engaging the public in this.
That is not the police responsibility to engage the public.
Huh?
I don't think the chief responsibility is for the police. The police is there to help to protect and serve, to help to maintain order, and the police is supposed to work within the confines of the law. But children going to school have to behave themselves. Otherwise, government have to build a special school in Grenada for those who not behaving and put police in it. So you sentence a child to school for 20 years or until you qualify at such and such subject. We have a society. Man is a social being. There are rules, norms, and convention, and you are expected to behave in it. If you're not behaving, you end up in prison, in jail, or you're disciplined and flogged or something.
Okay, well, Mr. Pierre, I hear what you're saying, and your point is taken. But what I'm saying here, right, is, okay, all right, tell me something, Mr. Pierre. You put a mirror at the street corner wherever to control the traffic or to guide the traffic, people or whatever. And people is going to take pleasure in breaking that. Why? Because people is not been taught, the proper way. Things to control things, to control the very lives of people. You're going to destroy it. Come on, listen to me. This is just
you have vandalism.
No. Huh?
You have vandalism in every society.
Yes, but
more often than not, when you see young people behaving bad, old people encouraging them. Any society you go, and you notice that society have a lot of antisocial behavior, the elders are supporting it. Any school you go, and the school have chronic discipline problem, the principal done good. Sometimes we beating around the bush. We could solve the problem. So if you go to a school and the school is pregnant with ill discipline, the principal of that school done good. You change the principal.
So that is why I continue to say we as a people, we should engage in dialogue.
Of course.
We should
I agree with you.
Engage in discussion.
Yeah, that's why I provoke discussion.
And I'm saying that this should take place at all levels. From the lowest to the highest, at all levels. People should put the issues on the table. Okay, take for instance between a husband and a wife. Okay, now let's say a husband and a wife is in a home. Okay, some disagreement happen, some kind of conflict, and they calling the authorities. I mean, should the authorities just come and say, look, man, woman, you just leave this man, or this man going to kill a woman, and man leave this woman because of this. Well, I mean, maybe there are certain critical situations that one just have to, that they just have to separate. I agree, but the first thing should be like I'm bringing them back together, putting them in this right. I mean, make them.
Well, don't call the police. When you call the police in these family squabbles, the police come to charge somebody, to lock up somebody, or to throw somebody at the doors. Better you call somebody else. We're supposed to have elders in the community that you could turn to. But when you turn to the police, what about on floor? The police either throw the man outside and say, go till thing cool off.
Exactly.
Or you lock up the man or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we as a people, we must learn to engage in discussion.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you very much.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, man.
Yeah, I believe that we have to provoke more discussion, and it have to be a culture. So we have to start in the homes. And I see this sister Mark Liz Peters. Whose fault family and community not working together? Well, it makes no sense blaming anybody, but we have to show the economic importance of working together. We have to have a lot of discussion with man and woman and saying to them, if you work together, you could achieve much more economically. If you work together, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Francis.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
And good afternoon to your listening audience.
Yeah.
Well, Francis, in the Northwest constituency in St. Andrew, we had a very successful constituency meeting in Monlong last evening. And from all indications, sir, numbers don't lie. And I must also say that in the big parish, which is St. Andrew, we are well on our way in terms of delivering the 4 seats in St. Andrew squarely in the column of the NNP.
Why do you think people should vote for NNP in St. Andrews?
Say that again?
Why do you give me 5 reasons you believe people should vote for NNP in St. Andrews?
Well, number one, Francis, there has been no other government that has done more for the people of St. Andrew than the NNP. And I always say, when we look at the electrification, when we look at water, when we look at roads, St. Andrew has benefited in the most significant way. You understand? And even as we speak about agriculture, there are more people in St. Andrews that is benefiting and making a comfortable living, so to speak, from agriculture than in any other parish in Grenada. Now, let me say that, Francis. Yes, in Grenada, there is much work to be done. But in Grenada, we also live in the most democratic place in our region. Now, in 2008, 2013, and 2018, the people that choose to be part of the process made their decision, they made their choice. Now, on 23rd June, we will be making that decision again. And at that, we're making that decision again. And at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. Those that support the NNP will be in the majority, and those that oppose will be in the minority. The little bit, those that I categorize without any apology as the insignificant amount. Thank you for the time.
Okay, my brother, thank you very much. And I thought the question that the sister asked was an important one. Whose fault it is that we are not working together, whether it is family or community? I think one of the biggest challenge of our ethnic group, black people, is the fact that we are not working together. And maybe our education system is not geared to that purpose. We are basically trained and educated to get a job. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Yes,
Good
caller,
afternoon.
punch.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Earlier on, you were talking about the education system and our young people. It is very clear that the educators and government have failed us. And it is time to look at the end result of every child leaving secondary school, who they are, what can they do. And I don't believe that they are doing that. They're not doing the analysis. Because those of us in business and other places, we realize that the focus is on academic brilliance, which is very important. But it is more than just academic brilliance. We need to take that academic brilliance and bring it into the practical arena. And it is not happening. And I believe that the time is late, but we need to revamp the education system so that every child leaving secondary school can be well equipped academically, practically, and more importantly, for life. How can you help develop their life skills? Our parents, a lot of parents these days are very hopeless. They make children and they spoil them. They give them everything that they want, and they're not training them to work. They're not training them to think about the future, what you want to be, how can you be that person. Because the burden is very, very high in terms of young people looking for work. And when they come, you have to completely train them. It is a little too hectic for the business people and other people. And therefore, a number of our brilliant young people are falling by the wayside because they think, well, I get a lot of subjects, but I'm not able to use it. So they get mentally deranged. And I think governments need to look at what's happening. And my position is education needs to be revamped. We need to make an education system that is more practical, that is capable of molding our young people at all levels so that they can fit into the society, so that they can be better young people to look at how they can make a way forward for the future in their life. Thank you, sir.
Kenny, I think I agree with you on a lot of issues where education is concerned. Between this period now is kind of pregnant with the politics. But I do hope that you and I could discuss those issues on our program because we will have more time. And perhaps we could select a subject matter and encourage color. Because I believe that's an area, while some people advocate is the government, but I believe it is just the ordinary minds in this country that should point the government towards that direction.
But you see, Francis, now is election time. I want the politician to understand the problem. If you understand the problem, then you might come up with solution. And I'm saying the solution is not very hard. It's about making the education system more adaptable for all areas, academic, practical, and life skills. But we need to get the politicians to understand what is the problem.
I don't think they're going to study us now.
You what?
I don't believe they bother nobody now. They're on their own agenda. They ain't bothering us now, kid.
Oh.
They're like more serious as enemy now.
Well, I don't know. I think we should still.
Yeah, we still continue, but after election, we're going to take some serious shot at it.
No, but sometimes between now and election day, some sense can be put into the head.
I don't think
that could be part of our education planet.
Yeah.
Because it's a problem year after year, and we need to improve on it.
Can you always speak about, and sometimes I always use your name when I want, because say you can't take me on, man. You go in jail already, you do all kind of thing already. I say you will employ a young person, and if the first day in which you ask them to throw garbage, they will get angry. But Kenny Lalson or Daddy Wayne or anyone, they will walk through the shop, take the garbage, go and through it, sweep if it is necessary. But somebody come with a master's or a bachelor's degree to work with you. You really can employ them because they won't do these things.
Because they never work at the bottom.
They never work at the bottom.
The best graduates are the people who work from the bottom.
Yeah. I think one of those, I can't remember the name of the business school in America, but they claim that people who were involved in business before were doing better in the business school.
Yeah. Any area, you need to learn to work even during your school time.
Yeah.
So you understand the world of work,
Yeah.
what it entails and what I need to do.
Yeah.
So when you get your doctorate and your degrees or whatever it is, you can better fit into the society.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, my brother.
All right, great.
Yes, it's always good to hear your voice and to participate to our program. The sister was asking, whose fault is it the community and the community not working together? I think the emphasis have to be on the economic importance of working together, the value of working together. Two young couples join together, 18, 19, 20 years. They want a house for $350,000. All they need is a little house with a small bed. And build together and plan for 100 years. But the plan maybe for 3 months. Yes, caller, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr.
Yes, my brother, welcome to the program.
And to the listening public, I want to caution the NNP supporters again. Be very careful. Protect yourselves from overzealous amateur politicians that may get you all in conflict. Stand vigilant at all times. Do not get carried away with propaganda and tamper opposition elements. Elements that is trying to bring us to conflict. The campaign against the NNP administration. Let us not forget it was nasty campaign and character assassination was used against P.M. Mitchell. Briefcase training mafia passport selling crooks. Those lies and attacks come right back now from whistleblowers of the so-called NDC who pretend. Some of them pretend they are not aligned to no political party. Fire pushers speaking bone come. They cannot help you all. If NDC get back into power, have done an impending disaster. For Grenada will be worse off than the virus. In his deliberation presentation, the NDC leader promised to pay every 2 weeks. That is just all talk. Maybe it's so cold. After NDC victory, Grenada will be called El Dorado. Because he's put the opposition man, they'll build homes for everybody. We have to be very skeptical about what we campaigning on. Lies and deception against a party of action and progress will not help. June 23rd is coming. Thank Thank you, Sope.
Yes, my caller, thank you very much. The election campaign will be hot, and I think within the society, that is when you need the leaders to tone down, to encourage people to tone down. The preachers in the church should be appealing to the members, get involved in the process, discuss, but tone down. Remember, it's your brother you're dealing with. And we, the radio personalities should be encouraging people to tone down. Because the party system could be hot. And the politicians, when they're on the pulpit, they warm up. And sometimes your mouth going faster than your brain. And in addition to that, some politicians are attacked mercilessly and they feel obligated to hit back. So we who are not directly involved in the politics should encourage our brothers and sisters and supporters to tone down. And remember, we all have to work together. One brother said, look what happened in America. Yet there are Republicans defending the nonsense in some way by blocking gun laws. The United States, we have to understand, you can eat your cake and have it. The Americans believe they have a right to carry arms. The American belief is part of the amendment. I can't remember which amendment. If it's the Sixth Amendment or what. Is the right to carry arms. So they carry arms to defend themselves. At one occasion, when they had a few instances when people die from gunshot wound, the Rifle Association asked, why you don't control doctors? Tell us how much people that die every year from doctor mistake. Tell us how much people that die from road accident. The Rifle Association say it's just a few people that die from gunshot wound. More people are dying from road accident and doctors mistake than what dying from gunshot wound. So America is a country that is armed. In Grenada, the cutlass is a weapon of choice. Yes, caller, welcome. Punch. Go right ahead, caller.
I can't be with you more than that. In that, what you just said there, I think that our politicians have to learn to take it down, cool down a little bit. And on both sides, sometimes they let their mouth rule them.
The mouth go faster than the brain sometimes.
Yes, and they have to.
Even me on the radio, sometimes I'm speaking and my pronunciation is off, my verbs greeny red,
Right.
Yeah.
So I hope for the rest of the duration of the campaign, we could see a more sober something.
We have to encourage them.
I am doing everything here.
I heard you on many occasions encouraging them.
And I will encourage it.
And you need it more.
Get to those
you see.
And stop this mouth slinging. It doesn't go well for the politics. Because remember, whichever government forms whichever party forms the government, we have to live by it. Until such time that you could get rid of them again. We have to live by it. We can't get away from that. Unless you could, and I think we're going to see overthrowing Grenada early again. I don't think I'm going to live to see it. It might happen after I die. I don't see
you intended that just now?
No.
My plan for 100 years, you could live 30, 40 years again. A lot of things could happen.
I wish I didn't have to tell.
A lot of things could happen. Yeah. Look at war going on. The whole dynamics could change.
Yeah, but we've seen a bad slate of this thing going on.
Suppose communism come back raining again.
Even in England.
Yes.
We are hearing now that the Prime Minister in England, they caught him lying on 2 and 3 occasions.
Well, during the COVID-19, he break it and he go and dance, he drink rum.
Exactly.
And they should charge him for poor dancing rather than dancing. Can't dance.
If he coming here, you don't to dance.
You don't want to dance here. If you see the kind of jumpy dance, Boris Johnson, they should charge Boris for the quality of dance.
Exactly.
He should have come down to see dance in the politics in Grenada.
I will like the politicians to cool down.
Yeah, they should have forgiven Boris for that.
Yeah, don't be too heated. But get to the facts. Yeah. I am saying it and I've saying it again, and I think NMP have a better team to rule this country for the next 5 years.
Why you give me two short reasons why you say they have a better team?
One, they can stay together. They're able to gel better. The NDC cannot gel.
And next one.
They have proven that.
Yeah. Why you think next reason NNP?
The next reason is when the NDC in power.
Not NDC. When
the NNP is in, when the NDC is in power.
Not the NDC. Ask you for two reasons why you think NNP had a better team.
They have a better team because, as I said, they could gel together.
That is one. The next one.
The next one is they're able to keep the economy going better.
All right. Okay.
You see a better economy going. Mr. Tillman Thomas tried 2 stimulus packages and none of them worked.
All right. Thank you.
And we could see more money flowing when NNP in power.
Thank you, Colin.
But they make mistakes too.
Thank you. We have to prepare to have justification and reasons for the argument. I'm always asking people, give me 2 reasons, give me 3 reasons, give me 5 reasons why you support that political party, why you against that political party, why you wouldn't vote for this political party. You must have reasons and justification for it. Yes, caller, welcome, Punch.
How are you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Go right ahead, man, Punch.
Well, yeah, listen, I want to say that we had a very successful St. Patrick West with Bello, Victor Philip. We went to Shalimel and we had a very
Bello have a unique dance.
Yeah, we had a very good meeting in Shalimel Lafayette.
Yeah.
And tonight the bandwagon rolled to Snell Hall by the Adventist Church by Bolo Shop.
Okay.
I want to say last night behavior, I am confident that we winning the 2 seats in St. Pat. We had Miss Pamela Moses with us last night.
You confident that you have a good chance?
We winning both seats in St. Patrick.
All right, okay.
East and West. Now, a good point was mentioned last night. The people are saying NDC changed 5 leaders in 5 years. I didn't remember that. Plus, they had 12 new candidates. Something is totally wrong with this party, and people is aware of the fact. So they just fooling people by saying they're winning.
Give me 3 good reasons why you want your people vote NNP.
Because NNP is a stable party. NNP is a caring party. NNP is the answer to Grenada. They care about the young people.
Caller, this last 2 is not 2 good reasons. Give me 2 other reasons. Everybody in Grenada caring. Caring is relative. A man could care for you and drop some lash on you. He say you're not behaving good. So give me another reason besides caring.
Well, this is the only stable party in Grenada.
Political stability is a very important part. And one of the other reasons, is the tax threshold. We have a higher tax threshold in Grenada than almost any Caribbean country. And based upon their activities in infrastructure. And when we want to deal with the politics, we must have reasons and justification.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, thank you.
I see somebody wrote on Facebook, why would I want to go to school with a cutlass? What dialogue this guy talking about? You go to school with a cutlass to ram some planners on somebody you can't beat. That's one of the good reasons to go with a cutlass. In school in Grenada, sometimes you have children that give you 2 rap. You take your cutlass and you go to school. And if they interfere with you again, you threaten them. Sometimes the cutlass is only used to threaten. Sometimes by the time you pull out, they see you have a cutlass, the principal take you and he knight you. You never touch your cutlass again. Some children go to school with cutlass to work in the kitchen garden. And while they're in the kitchen garden, they drop some planners on somebody. Some children like to fake planners with cutlass. We have a caller on the line. Caller, Punch.
Yeah, I listened to this thing with Boris Johnson, the chief public United States. Because I call these people public servants because they take an oath
Yeah.
to serve, and we pay their salary. They just be vexed when I
Yeah, they are public servants.
Yes, they are public servants from Keith Mitchell down.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I mean, Johnson's behavior is ridiculous. Could you imagine at a time, Mr. Pierre, when people was going through all this thing?
He whining.
I mean to say, and but the only thing that I like about the British system, there was an investigation, and they found him guilty, or they found that he's fine, and they fined him.
I would have charged him for the quality of the wine. Can you wine?
Oh, right. But no, we had an incident in Grenada where everybody saw on Facebook that public servant Nicholas Steele and Yolan Bain, to the best of my knowledge, they wasn't wearing masks.
But you can't.
They go to, wait, hold on. I'm saying they go to party, yeah? They wasn't wearing masks when they was telling people to wear masks. And Nicholas Steele and Yolan Bain should have been fined. Well, he said on a radio station one day that he will pay the fine and he will show the nation the receipt. But up to now, nothing has done.
And maybe they didn't find him.
Exactly.
The police might say, man, don't bother that.
Right.
The police in Grenada might say, the among the people that don't wear masks, police and all don't wear masks, so they don't bother.
Yeah, but you see, that's because remember, he's the chief executive officer of the Ministry of Finance. That's how I call him. He's in charge. And if he and Yolan, and they are people that people look up to, and tell them that we're supposed to wear their masks, and the law is that they're supposed to be charged. So these two people, Nicholas Steele and they was breaking the law. And they should have been fined just like Boris Johnson. I'm not happy with all this thing. I have to be very honest. Who makes that their business? Because Boris Johnson, he was ridiculous. He broke the law. And it's the same thing with Nicholas Steele and this other one. So there should have been, you see, they are legislators. They're making the law and they're breaking it. No, they should have been fined. And they should have been made to either to apologize if they don't want to pay. Well, apologize that it was wrong. But the fact is that they broke the law, and this is terrible. All of them terrible. I'm not defending nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. And that is important. I wouldn't lose a politician for that. I wouldn't expel a politician for that. But they should say sorry, and maybe you fine them and charge them. You know. And the issue of children in Grenada, the cutlass is a weapon of choice because 80% of Grenadians are directly or indirectly involved in cutlass, in agriculture. Very rare a vehicle don't have a cutlass. Vehicles have cutlass, knives, hammer, hatchet, all kind of thing, based upon the job or the work the person do. But every now and then, people, when they get aggressive, they may pull the cutlass. And the cutlass is the weapon of the choice. But in America, the weapon of choice is the gun. And while we hear they shoot about 21 children, and that's big news. But the Rifle Association say more people dying from doctor mistake in America, more people dying from road accident than what dying from gunshot wound. And if you have a whole country with gun, and bad gun too, you know, machine gun they have, you know, then one day, wife go shoot husband, husband shooting wife, children playing with gun. So the American culture is a kind of gun culture. They are the most armed country in the world. We come to the end of our program, and we want to thank you for calling. We want to really thank you for calling. And we hope that we'll be able to continue some of the discussion, particularly on education and family unity, etc. And you too will always have an opportunity to punch on our program. Thank you very much.